I think the real issue that I have is, as a boss and a manager, executive, when I look at Trump, sometimes I look in his place and it looks like nobody says no inside that White House. I'm serious. It just looks like, okay, Howard, go out and say what you want to say. Okay, Peter, go out and say what you want to say. And then he has these meetings and he goes, Stephen Miller, and he lets Stephen start talking. American people don't know who Stephen Miller is. It's like he's going to win the room, but he's not going to win the people. And, make this person talk or have JD explode on Zelensky. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that was must-see TV, Mark, though. I mean, that was one Oval Office.
The networks.
I will never forget. We were live on air. I was on Newsmax, and I'm like, what? Can we get the replay now?
No, I mean, I see it, but my thing is like, I think people don't mind chaos with Trump. I think they understand it. I think we also know that it's against it. But my whole thing is I look at it sometimes and I'm going like, it's like he's very derogatory of the CHIPS Act, which I am as well. I mean, in other words, you're buying this business much more so than you had to. Because Trump's position is this is a great place to be. Come on in and do it, and I'll use a stick. The Democrats basically said, we're going to bribe you and give, because I'm here in Taiwan. I know all the TSMC guys. NVIDIA is really a Chinese company, just a Taiwanese company. Jensen Huang proved that yesterday when he went to Beijing and told the Chinese, because he's pissed off about the duties, he told the Chinese, our blood, our family, we're part of China, which I hope people come back and smack him on. It's good to look, and he said that, and it was like, basically, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he basically said, China is our other home and things like that. The problems that you always, I hate to say, you get inside the Chinese American business community. But I do think there is this issue of communication. But here's what I'll give Trump. Ran a media company. I used to be a major media executive in Asia, not anymore. The Chinese took care of that. But I look at the Wall Street Journal, and I mean, first of all, they're going down in subscriptions, and we're about to see their next quarter results. I was an investor in News Corp, still play it every once in a while. For full disclosure, the Wall Street Journal is going down, and what's happening is alternative media is coming up, and I think they don't know how to deal with it. And like for example, they just don't have any idea how Trump communicates around them, how he works around them. You talk about, like, for example, Newsmax. I mean, what does Newsmax mainly do? They keep Fox conservative because Fox is definitely afraid that Newsmax will start pulling in more readers, as they have. They've already got now 2 decently rated shows, that beat CNN sometimes. So they're not the number 4, they're the number 3 network. So I think the issue really is for the media, Kristen, is I think a lot of these mainstream people are becoming irrelevant. And it's hard. It's really hard to walk around with that name card that says New York Times and nobody cares. In other words, they know that they can go to some guy on Twitter and they can get their message out and more people will see it. You know what I'm saying? And more people, they want to see it. There's apparently something like, I was told this guy, he does social media work for some of the campaigns I'm involved in. Uh-oh. He said there's basically about 100 accounts, conservative accounts, that really, if you follow those accounts, you'll pretty much get everything in the conservative message. He said Washington Times and Washington Examiner are one of them. National Review is not one of them. I specifically asked him because everybody knows that they're not part of the ecosystem anymore. But I think the fact is, I think Trump instinctively knows that. I've never seen a better media president. And I think the fact is he's going to war with these guys, and that's why he's always thinking about it. He doesn't – the moves that he's made at the White House, is the White House press room, moving people around in seats, has actually not only been hilarious, but has been really wise because he's basically reordering people. I mean, I know the AP thinks they're the be-all and end-all of the world, but I can tell you right now, the AP, their influence is going down so far because it's just general news. I hate to say it. It's breaking news most of the time. And you can just buy it from AFP. You can buy it for 1/5 the price. The French will sell it to you. Or you can get it from BBC, or you can get it from CNN. You don't need AP anymore.
No, I mean, but you see them all losing their minds over it too. Contracts being downsized. Rachel Maddow, her head is exploding. You have ABC's The View, which is supposed to be some sort of news division, but their ratings are in free fall. At CNN, you mentioned Newsmax is beating them now in prime time. Now we're an upstart, right? We're a nothing. CNN used to be the dominant news source. Now they can't get, even 100,000 people to tune into their prime time. But I think it's because the American public has been lied to. We've been lied to now for years, starting in 2016 with the Russia collusion hoax. Throughout Joe Biden's entire presidency, when they were cheerleading him on, saying that he didn't have dementia, that it was just a minor incursion into Ukraine from Russia, that there was no, migration, there was no crossings at the illegal border. At the border, there was no illegal crossings, that there was no crisis, that inflation was transitory. And they kept with those. They kept lying to us and losing their credibility more and more. And so it's allowed a lot of upstart podcasts like this one, like Joe Rogan. People just disillusioned with the traditional media space, searching other outlets to get another perspective. There are no gatekeepers anymore, and that is what annoys legacy media the most. They've lost their power.
We have an office here that's going to take this podcast and they're going to send it out all over Taiwan. And, so people will see it also in Singapore. They'll see it as well from we have a little thing down there. But you're right. In other words, they're not really used to having that.